Hey Cougars, it's Mr. Franklin here, and I want to give a little tour of how Canvas works, especially now that we're getting into day 2 today and about to start day 3. And I just want to make sure that we're clear where to find things, especially if we're winding up having to stay home because of COVID and all kinds of other reasons. But I want you to be able to access and keep up with the course as best you can. Today, if you you logged into the homepage, you would see the homepage. If you would go to the modules over here on the side, what you'll see at the very top is today's module. It says day 2. It's amazing. But when you came in today, I actually asked you to pull up something from yesterday. Well, this doesn't have the yesterday. So where do I find yesterday stuff? I can go down to the module for the unit that we're in. So right now we are in the Welcome to Physics module. And you can go down and you can see everything from yesterday as well as today. And you'll notice that the things that are not grayed out, you can access and click on, but the things that are grayed out, I can't click on or do anything with. You will notice that even today's stuff is grayed out. Now, that is because it's all locked behind the thing you have to do before. There are certain things that we need you to do before you do certain other things. For example, when we learn how to graph things, you need to know how we graph things before we teach you how to do slope. So we want to make sure that you're learning things in the proper order so you don't get lost. But we also put it in a today module because we want you to also be present in the here and now and be able to focus on what we're doing today. So maybe you did miss yesterday. You could jump right into today's stuff because it's at the top. However, in a moment, I'm going to unpublish today because today is over. But let's go and let's say I need to work on something from the past. So let's do that. So I'm going to just start at the top because I have to complete all the items in this module. I'm going to start at the top. And here is my objective. Today, we will get to know what this class and the teacher is about. That was yesterday. You click on next. And it will have a little bit about me. If you're in Mr. Ness's class, you will have seen a little bit about Mr. Ness. You click next, and you will see our setup that we did yesterday of our notes. Now, what's important about this page is if you scroll down to the bottom, you should do the page. And when you finish completing the page, like a set of notes or something like that, you should mark as done. So it's almost like a checklist. Mark as done. Okay, so you could then click next, but let's go back to the module and just see what it looks like right now. When we go back to the module, you'll notice that the module has a little circle with a dash through it. That means I've started this module, but I have not finished it. And the things that are important that are actually locked behind other things, if I have turned them in and finished them, it has a green check. This one, setting up your notes, has a green check. Now, you have to be careful if it says mark as done. If you marked as done, but maybe you haven't quite finished, it could be misleading. So make sure that you're completing the things that you're supposed to complete. But this is where I was at. Well, next, we have the actual video that Mr. Ness put together that goes through those notes and introduces you to physics. We also had an in-class discussion in my class from me to you about what physics is about. And then we did our profile page. So here's my example. If you're in Mr. Ness's class, you can look at his example. And then you were to create your own. And then to create your own, you clicked here, you filled in your profile, made a PDF of it, and then started the assignment and turned in your PDF. So now we're caught up to day 2. I can go back to the module and I can actually access any of day 2 stuff in day 2, but I'm going to leave student view for a moment. And I'm actually going to unpublish day 2 and go back to student view. And now all you will see at the top is the current module. To access the current module and to access today's stuff, you need to start here, my personal profile page, and I actually do need to turn it in. So let's say I make a copy of my slideshow, and you start editing this. When you get finished, you're going to go to File, Download, PDF, and then you're going to go Start Assignment, Upload File, and your menu will look a little different. But when you click Choose File, you should have a menu that pops up and shows you whatever the PDF. Find it by name, and then you can select Open and then Submit Assignment. You should already know how to be familiar with how to do that. But there you go. Canvas celebrated your turn in. But now you can go to Next and proceed to this week's or day 2's stuff. I can use my notes. So here's the summary that we did. Remember, you click Start here, text entry, use your notes from yesterday, but you're going to type complete sentence answers in this box and then click Submit Assignment. Here. If you made a mistake, you can click New Attempt and reattempt it. Okay, so wow, there is an example of the notes that we took on Tuesday. So if you did miss Thursday, missed our first day of class, here is a copy of the notes. You can go through and get caught up on the notes. And here are actually the 2 summary questions as well for you to look at. Here is a copy of the syllabus. You should read and annotate. To annotate, just remember, you have the highlight button you can use. You click on the highlight, you can pick the color of the highlight and so highlight the text. So we are looking for things that are important that I need to know. And you can even leave a comment, whatever it might be. It might be you need to leave a comment, ask Mr. Franklin or Mr. Ness about this, okay? Just so you remember. You can add a text box where you can actually add text to the document. You can also strike through. So maybe there's something you're working in a group later, you can strike through, and you can also write. So I'm going to circle, probably better to highlight, but I can circle something's important. When you draw on here is when you finish drawing is you will have to click the check mark to save the drawing. Everything else in the annotation should automatically save. So for example, if you accidentally navigate away from the page, it should automatically save your results. You don't have to submit anything. You should be able to come back and most of your annotations should still be there. Complete your annotations. Make sure that you sign as best you can with the pen tool that you've read through the syllabus. And then when you're finished with your annotations, you can submit the assignment. Next. Scavenger hunts. You may use Canvas to help you find the answers to these questions. So click Begin, answer that to the best of your ability. The first 2 days of school and how you navigate around Canvas. Okay, so notice now I've removed day 1 and day 2. You will not see anything day-wise until Monday when I will post Monday's work. All righty, that's all I've got. Please talk to me in class or send me an email if you still have questions on how to access the assignments in Canvas. Thank you and have a great weekend.